A new report says both Russian and pro-Trump actors have been actively spreading misinformation about Alberta separatism. Researchers found a now defunct website and social media account promoting separatist views likely came from a Russian covert influence network. They also discovered pro-Kremlin news agencies responsible for posting over 60 articles related to Alberta since last December. U.S. officials and influencers have also joined in on the separatism discussion through social media and television appearances. And joining me now is one of the authors of that report. Marcus Kolga is the founder and director of DisinfoWatch, a platform dedicated to monitoring foreign disinformation. He's also senior fellow at the Macdonald-Laurier Institute. Marcus, thank you for being on the program tonight to talk about this. We've been talking a lot about Alberta separatism, and so what you have put out here in your report is going to be alarming to some.
Well, sure. I guess the timing is quite good, given that the signatures for the referendum have just come in, and we've had all sorts of other news. But thank you for giving time to talk about our report a little bit, where we indeed did find that Russian actors are currently very much targeting the Alberta secessionist movement and the issue. They have been doing so in the past as well. We in the report we mentioned that in 2019 we already saw efforts by a Russian government-controlled platform. In fact, one of the largest, Sputnik News, was targeting the Wexit movement. That's what they called themselves back then, was targeting that movement with misinformation and disinformation. And so Russia is clearly interested in exploiting this issue to try and divide Albertans, to try and polarize Canadians on this issue. And as you mentioned, we've also witnessed prominent U.S. MAGA far-right populist influencers, many of them operating on social media platforms like YouTube with videos, many of them with millions of followers, one of them with tens of millions of followers, taking direct aim at Alberta as well. And all of this is intended to manipulate the understanding that Albertans and Canadians have of this issue, and as I said earlier, to try and divide them and polarize them by exploiting it.
Okay, so I just want to maybe distinguish between what I think are two different things, or a little bit different. You tell me if I'm wrong. With the disinformation coming from Russia appears to be, I would call it covert, i.e.
Correct.
You don't know where it's coming from, you don't know the sources of it, and it's masking itself as something looking more legitimate than perhaps it is. Whereas what you're talking about in terms of, you called them MAGA influencers, they're doing this, I think, with their face fully visible. They may not be speaking what is the truth. They may be offering a lot of opinion, but is that really the same thing?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Russia is more covert in its operations, although many of the incidents that we uncovered were directly related to platforms that are connected with the Kremlin and aligned with the Kremlin. And on the U.S. side, you're right, it's overt. It's influencers that we all know who have millions of followers and who are trusted by probably millions of Canadians as well, who are promoting these narratives. But there's also convergence between these two, where we see some of those influencers on the U.S. MAGA side who are involved or alleged to have been involved in a scheme called the Tenant Media platform, by which the Russian government used $10 million to create a platform to employ many of these MAGA-aligned influencers to promote Kremlin-aligned narratives. And this was uncovered by the U.S. Department of Justice back in September of 2024. Many of those voices that were in that Russian-funded scheme are now voicing opinions on Alberta as well. So we're seeing a convergence of the two to a certain degree as well.
Okay, so I have two questions, and I'm going to have to be kind of a bit quick on both probably, but can you give me an example? Like what kind of these, when you talk about the Russian covert articles is what I'm going to describe them as, but what are they telling people who are reading them?
Well, I mean, one of the examples of the Russian operations is the creation of a fake website, for example, created in May of 2025, albertaseparatist.com, where hundreds of articles were posted that align very much with the separatist movement, are advancing extremist views within that movement. That's a clear example, and this was a website that was created by a Russian government information operation known as Storm 1516. That's a perfect example of how the Russians covertly operate. On the U.S. side, with some of these MAGA influencers, you have voices like Tucker Carlson, for example, who is a well-known former advisor to President Trump. In a video that he posted just a couple of weeks ago, he was suggesting that the United States should actually invade Canada to liberate Canadians from the current government. So these are the kinds of voices that we're hearing, the kinds of narratives that we're hearing from both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I mean, I think I'm familiar with the Tucker Carlson thing that you're saying. I think that one, you have the opportunity to take it, digest it, know what it is, and the other, maybe it doesn't. It looks a little more, legit, and you just don't know. But Marcus Kolga, I got to cut it there, but it has been great to talk to you. Founder and director of DisinfoWatch, a platform dedicated to monitoring foreign disinformation, and senior fellow at the Macdonald-Laurier Institute. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on.